VP of CPAC is still continue on. Actually, T1 is a director in Royal Bank of Canada capital market, right? Yes. And actually, it's very, very well known and in the Chinese community and professional community, very respect. And T1 and also when T1 was the first president and that's the first time CCFA and CPNP have to join the event together. So I remember that day we talked together, and then I very respectful. Since then we become a long-time partner relationship with the CCFA. And right now Dajun is actually CCFA president. And T1 have this is education, PhD. In the UFT mathematics and graduated Shanghai Jiao Tong University. And so, Tini gave me a lot of your background information, but I will leave to you to speak more about yourself, okay? And my career, and I would say Beth. Beth is a professional career coach. This is my simplified your profile. I have long list of the best, but I want to short them, and that was for time. Beth is a professional career coach, founded her career consultant company called BPS Strategy, offering career camps for graduates, for newcomers, and Beth has served as a career instructor of the Canadian government agency more than 10 years. Helping nearly 70 countries and culture background and more than 1,000 students successfully employed. Very, very impressive achievement. And Andrew, Andrew has been an IT senior manager for over 20 years with a strong background in client relationship and vendor management, program and project management, team leadership, development, and motivation. Andrew has a passion for effective communication and achieved the distinct Toastmaster designation, and is a presenter and a serious executive and a workshop and panel meetings, and is professional presenter. And then Andrew will deliver us effective communication after this session, so you will enjoy his delivery. We also have Harold. Yes, Harold is a business consultant in various industries, including government, corporate companies. He currently is the president of IIBA, which is International Institution of Business Analysis, Toronto chapter. He has sponsored the creation of 2 specialty Toastmaster clubs. Harold contributes to the individuals, the organization, developing new skills and timeless principles in the pursuit of personal and organization excellence. Harold, I simplify your profile. You give me a long list, 1 page. I just shorten it. I hope you don't mind. Last one but not least, and we have our Zhou Wen. Zhou Wen is actually, I can say something, is our founder member of this organization, CPNP. And he has a long, outstanding project management practice, both in China and here. And he has 1,000, or how many? Zhou Wen has over 68,000 students online in China and here, and then he's a follower. He has so many people just follow him. If you go online, you follow Zhou Wen, you can see many people follow him. And he is also the co-author of the one book called Growing Pains of Project Management. So if you want to learn something practical, how to handle some issues, come to Zhou Wen, and he knows how to handle it. So this is all our six VIP guests. Right now, I'm going to start my questions. Okay? First, my question go to Daji. Daji, what are the challenges for project manager with the AI application coming to our life and our work? Were PM jobs greatly reduced?
Well, first of all, thank you, Tracy. Over the years, I've been really associated with Tracy and the CPMP, as she said, almost 20 years ago. So the question is really actually pretty big. It depends on how you look at it. Now, I had a benefit to listen to the last panel, which is outstanding knowledge of insights covering all spectrum of the what they call disruptive technology, right? From AI to blockchain to cybersecurity. So I was thinking one thing, with all this coming in, there are some numbers throwing around as well. We need about 2 million people in shortage of the cybersecurity, but I'm really a project manager, so I'm thinking, look, whatever you do, whatever the new initiative you do, you need a project manager, right? You need to have a mandate. You need to take the vision. You need to be able to, from the strategy to process, to plan out, and to finally deliver and take them to the market. So you do need a project manager. And not only project manager, you need a team. You need a functioning team. So to answer Tracy's question, what does that mean in the context of all these new technologies? AI is just one of them, right? So I think we as a project manager, just like any other field, evolving constantly. I guess first thing we need to be realized is what's the impact? What is different in terms of our work of managing projects? Well, many years ago, someone asked me, I was interviewing a candidate. I said, how many years you got a project management experience you're applying this job? Says, I have 3 years. I said, how do you manage a project? Can you explain it to me? How do you manage a project? So his answer is, I use Microsoft Project. I said, what? I use Microsoft Project to manage a project. So he really meant that he literally just using that tool to manage a project. Obviously, I will not hire this person, right? He got it all around. So my question is, doesn't matter. My comments to Tracy, it doesn't matter how technology evolving. It's really the tool that we can leverage. First of all, we need to realize what are the capabilities of AI. And at the same time, how can we leverage the tool to manage a project? So I guess if you're talking about job security point of view, I do not see PM's jobs disappearing at all. I see you need to be evolving to become more valuable, not only as a tool to the business, but as a valued partner. I'll stop here.
Thank you very much. I don't actually have more to say, but I want to save time for experts to share their experience. So thank you very much, Daji. And then we put our the part at last, just to save time, okay? And then Wang T actually more comfortable. And he has been working in banking how many years? 30 years, right? 25 years, sorry. 25 years, it's long. Yes, but it looks very young, right? So we have to work in the bank and it looks young. So he has this tremendous experience in the banking, and then when questions come to a lot of people, actually even myself, I got a lot of questions that, how can I come to bank? And where I can start? What advice for people who really want to come to bank and to learn something and to grow their career? So my question.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. And I guess that I have many old friends here, and of course a lot of new friends. A lot of people who know me that are also working for bank. So we all understand that the banking business actually is a very large area. You could work in the capital markets. You could work in the wealth management. You can work in insurance. You can work in the asset management or as the custodian. So different areas, they are all, require different knowledge and skills. Also depend on your role. So when I'm also the mentor for students at the University of Toronto, as the part of my obligation as an alumni of the U of T. So that each year when I have my mentee come to me, they also always ask the first question is, how can I get into the bank? So my question to them is that how much you know about the bank, right? Which area do you want to work for? And how do you prepare yourself? All related to your targets. So I'm myself working in the capital markets, in the trading floor, so my working pace is very fast. So I spend 12 hours per day in the office. And we are working in a very noisy and a very action-impacted environment. Now, question is that, do you want that kind of area, environment? Are you comfortable with that kind of thing? If you are not, don't come to me. You have to go somewhere else. If you are prepared for yourself to work for action almost every minute, action-impacted environment, we can talk. That's number one. Number two, are you prepared for that? What that means that you have to prepare yourself psychologically. Number two, your knowledge, your skills. Number three, which is, I think that friends sitting beside me will talk more about that, how they communicate with people. So, particularly for the students coming from China, they always have the problem to start to talk, open the talk, okay, break the ice, start to communicate with people efficiently. So that is actually one of the key for you to be successful in the banking business, no matter where you are. You can be a programmer, you can be a trader, you can be a manager, you can be anybody else. But one thing is in common, that is you need to communicate. So my advice to my mentee always be able to talk, be able to use the language, be able to let people understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. So that's all. And I like to take more questions from people because it's a very wide topic. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I think I should hand over to you, and let me try this one working. Hello, can you? Actually, my voice is low. This one? Yes. Oh, sorry. I should speak this. Okay. No, this is I. Oh, okay. Let me. Andrew actually, we know Andrew working. We have worked with Andrew for many years, and I know Andrew well. Andrew is most talent, and I want to say it's a communication. Communication is his passion, and I want to say, and I want to ask Andrew, what drives you to see what communication impacted you in your career, your life, and move you from one step to another step? Can you share with our audience how that's important, how we can improve that? Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. So communication, or effective communication, because it's very important to have that adjective in front, is critical for the success of anything. If you think of life, or you think of your career as a story has characters, and you should always have good characters within that story. And if you think about the characters that surround you, again, it's going to be that communication that links you to those characters. So what's progressed me through my career is the three most important characters being a mentor. So who here has a mentor? Raise your hand if you have a mentor. Okay, so find yourself a mentor if you don't have a mentor. And establish that communication with that individual, because they're going to guide you throughout your career. And it's going to be very important to listen to their advice. I myself, in the past, not having had a mentor at some times, have made poor decisions. And if I'd had a mentor, I might have made a right decision. And I'll give you an example. I did this project, it was very, very successful. My senior manager came to me and said, Andrew, that was amazing. Would you like more money? Now, how many times do you get asked if you want more money? No, you don't get asked for more money. Now, I had another friend who actually had a mentor. Now, she wasn't in the position of asking for money, but she decided that she wanted, so she wasn't offered more money, but she decided that she was so valuable, she'd go and ask for more money. And she said, maybe I'll ask for a 10% increase. She went to her mentor, and the mentor said, why 10%? Why not 90%? Why not just double your salary? And she said, well, that's ridiculous. Why would they double my salary? But she took the advice of the mentor, and she went to the senior manager, and she said, I think I'm valuable, I think you need me, I want to ask for more money. And you know what happened? You know what they did? They more than doubled her salary. So she got more than she expected. Now, what do you think I did when I was asked, do you want more money? I said, no, that's okay. I think I earn enough. But what does that mean? That means I don't value myself enough to have said, yes, I would like to have more money. And so you can give the wrong message. So again, the wrong message, the wrong communication to the people around you, depending how you answer. So find yourself a mentor. That's one character. The second character is, who here has an accountability partner? Does anybody know who an accountability partner is? So an accountability partner is somebody that you're going to make a commitment to. So the organization of trainers within the US have said that if you find yourself an accountability partner and you say to them, this is my objective, I'm going to tell you my objective, you have a much higher chance of actually achieving that. Now if you actually book a meeting with the accountability partner and say in 2 months' time, I'm going to meet with you, I'm going to tell you how I've achieved what I've achieved, you have a 95% chance of actually achieving your goal. And the third character within the story is yourself. It's very important to be able to focus and achieve what you need to achieve at the time. Always, always take any task that you do and try your very, very, very best at it. When I moved to Canada, I moved with my wife, and she joined this company, and she was given this project. And it was a horrible project. In fact, 2 project teams had failed to achieve what she was asked to achieve. But she decided, you know what? All I need to do is try my best, make this a success, and we'll see what happens. And she worked horrendous hours. I used to make dinner and go down to her office and feed her dinner at night so that she can get the work done. And she achieved that initiative, the first time ever. And guess what happened? That was the ticket to success within that company. She could have whatever she wanted after that. So always make sure that you do your very best, whatever task you've been given, as if it's the most important thing. Because sometimes we can feel a little bit, I'm not sure I really want to do that. Well, that's not going to get you anywhere. So with any journey, find your characters, stick those characters, communicate with those characters, and you'll find success.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you very well. And I give a lot of tips here. And then next question to Harold. Harold has been a business consultant for many, many years, and also currently take very big shoulder for the IIBA Toronto chapter and working with the BA and the day in and day out. My question is, change is triggered by the growing complexity of technology and the explosion of data and the shortened product life cycle. And the change also user experience. As a BA, as a business consultant, how you respond to this change, how you satisfy this quick change, how you do this, how you follow up, what's your advice as a business consultant for this, how you do these changes?
Thank you. So, my first question is, why is everyone here today? Are you here to meet one another? Are you here for a social event? Actually, who's here just for the networking and just to meet one another? Raise your hand. Okay, who's here actually thinking about their career and where it may or may not go in the future? Raise your hand. Who doesn't know why they're here? Okay. Who had $40 too much? Okay. Who's a bit anxious about where the future goes? Okay, that's the one we're raising our hands on. So let me help you. You are qualified and competent to meet the future. If anything, you're lacking your focus. And if anything, the 5 items you mentioned, which were data,
complexity technology,
complexity, data, product life cycle,
and the user experience.
user experience, and user expectation.
Yes.
You know, just always remember what the scientists said in the late 60s when they were doing the NASA project to go to the moon. The individual, the mathematician said, if it wasn't for humans, space travel would be perfect. But it's about humans. It's all about us. So those 5 items you mentioned, if it wasn't for those 5 items, we wouldn't have a job. Either as a product manager, a project manager, or a business analyst. What does help you get there is to stay aware of what's going on. It doesn't take much. And this organization here is phenomenal. That one slide you had where you listed everything. That's what you want. Everyone's already said it all, so I'm just repeating everyone. You're looking for mentors, you're looking for coaches, you're looking for accountability. You're looking to just participate. You're looking for communication. Language is part of that. So if you're a level 5, 6, 7, and you need to get to 7, 8, 9, on whatever ITEL. So at the Toronto chapter, we've become a lot about education. So Jenny here, who's with the chapter, she's an educator by profession. Business analysis is an evil word to her, and project management too. But it is by participating in all this. So if you, as I've read the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight about Nike, and then I read the popular press. The popular press, when you read about Nike and their competitors, it leaves you with a certain misunderstanding and a certain tension. So if you want to deal with your anxiety, just learn about it, because everything that we're talking about here, whether it be Bitcoin or distributed ledger technology, whether it be about artificial intelligence and its many facets, or whether it be about data or anything else of that nature, it's already happening and you're already participating in it, and you have phenomenal AI already happening on here. And just participate, get involved, focus on your role, don't focus on your title. So if you're a project manager or a product manager or a product owner or a BA or a business analyst, focus first on the discipline, the role, the practice, and see where you fit in there. Because there's many titles that have nothing to do with what you thought you were doing, but exactly need what you're doing. Most of the roles today are hybrid. All the roles you have as a dedicated business analyst, as a dedicated project manager, as a dedicated product owner, they're not going anywhere. But the world's just growing and expanding. And as for future employment, it'll be there. You got enough other things to worry about, like parents and children, groceries and garbage collection. So don't worry about the work. The work is there, and you're qualified and competent, and make sure you stay qualified and competent. Because everything that was already said by everyone else is right on, spot on. Okay, thank you. And utilize this. Like this here is one of the most powerful things you can do to advance your career and grow your skills.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Let's give us a comment on this event. Thank you. Next one, question go to Zhou Wen. Zhou Wen is did a tremendous training, project management, and also online and offline training stuff. And then a lot of people have the compliance say, what's the most compliance some student to about? Can you share with this audience, and then how you give them advice?
Sorry, I prefer speak Mandarin now because about communication, right? So I prefer fluently speak, so it's better than me blind. It's clear. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah. OK，在我的这个培训和online 的这个 course 里面哈， 这个大概有第一个问题，就是最多的这个问题，大家可以想象一下是什么问题。PM 说他最多的问题，最多的 complaint 是什么？老板或者客户总是让我变，对吧？就说我做了一半的工作，老板说这个不对啊，那个也不对，你必须要改变，对吧？这是可能在座有很多有这样的体会。那我们反过头来问老板，问这些领导说，你们对这些 PM 这个最大的抱怨是什么？大家可以想象吗？
钱不到位。
那不是第一位的，第一位的是说我的要求他没有听懂，他做出来的不是我想要的。大家可以想象一下，这两个人抱怨的东西实际上是一个东西，对吧？就是说我做出来不是他想要的，他想要的我没有做出来，那问题在哪儿呢？对，刚才 follow 大局和这个 Andrew 说 communication， 所以 communication 是一个非常非常重要的这么一个skill， 所以我们希望我们在这个地方呢引起大家的注意。而我刚才谈的这个问题哈，不是只出现在中国，也不是只出现在这个加拿大，同时出现在欧洲，也不是只出现在这个一个小的公司。我的客户里面有 LinkedIn， 有 Rogers， 有这个Microsoft， 就是这都顶级大公司。这些雇员，他们可能毕业于在国内可能清华北大，对吧？在国外可能就是哈佛、剑桥什么的，对吧？都是顶级聪明的人。就是这些人，而且项目管理刚才大局也谈到了，它不是一个有什么数学公式有积分，看起来我完全不懂的一个东西，他觉得很 easy 嘛，考个 PMP 对吧？但是实际上这个过程就是在你要去使用。那我们回到刚才这个例子啊，就是说，当老板给了你一个任务以后，因为每个人来自于各行各业，我们就以今天 party 为例子，比如说崔姐说，周文，我们协会要办一个 party， 你做PM， 你去做吧。这个时候，这是很多公司的场景，那这个时候就会出现一个很大的问题。我就想以我的大脑里面对 CPMP 的理解，我去办一个 party。当我去办了一半的时候，就说，哎，周文你这不对，那不对，这个事情就出来了，对吧？所以呢，我的建议啊，刚才崔姐说有个建议，那么我的建议呢，就是说，当你听到这个领导给你安排工作以后，你一定要 make sure 一个 scope， 就是说这个任务做到什么程度，哪些做，哪些不做，你的检查的标准是什么？你的刚才谈到的钱，你的资源有多少？然后把它变成一个文档性的东西，拿过去跟你的领导进行什么呀？就是说沟通确认。只有这个反复的确认了以后，你再往下做，可能这个 project 才做出来跟你的领导的 idea 是比较接近的。因为很多时候，其实领导他心中的 idea 并不是很清楚，所以呢，这个过程是需要 repeat， 而且在这个过程中，很多人更 focus 在高新的技术，更 focus 在 hire 到更厉害的人。实际上，这个对这个项目的这个 scope 和 goal， 我们都有知道有个 SMART goal， 对吧？需要用这个东西去确认我们的项目，而这个过程可能大家走的比较少。所以我建议呢，大家今后在工作中，不管你是老板也好，还是你是职员也好，在这个任务的问题上，一定要去反复确认，完了以后可能走下去的工作，反复的浪费的时间就会比较少。这是我的建议啊，谢谢。
好，谢谢周文。Okay, last but not least, Beth is a long-term career consultant, coach, and has helped over how many people? Have 70 countries and also more than 1,000 students successfully employed. So I believe a lot of people, people right now come here to this session and want to get a career advice. So Beth, what's your advice for start for the new graduates and for career and when we have the rapid change, right, or disrupt the change in the coming to the world? How you advise them which direction I should go, where I can start, and which path I should go? What's your advice for them?
Okay, thank you for the question. I know, thank you very much for asking questions to the audience, so I know the purpose. So I know there are students or new graduates who are looking for jobs, and there are young people who are looking for career advancement. And we heard from our experts here that there is always jobs in project management. Communication is important in the banking industry, and communication again. And also there are clients' expectation. So I want to link this to the job search. So there is also, as Solon mentioned, that there is the gap between the client and the PM. So the gap is the communication. When you look at the job search, it's exactly the same. So I've met many employers. I myself is an employer, so I have also the challenge to get the right candidate, the right employee to work in my company. And the challenge is, I always heard employers saying that, you know what, there are not enough good candidates out there. And at the same time, we heard job seekers saying that there are not enough jobs and we can't find it. So the gap is very clear, but what makes the gap? What really makes the gap? From all those cases, as Tracy mentioned, that I've coached nearly over 1,000 job seekers in all kinds of positions, finding employment in their field. And the gap is actually, the employer normally gives very clear description about what they want, okay? But the problem is job seekers don't know how to present the right information that the employers want to the employers. That is the gap. So employers, there is in Canada, what is better than China is that there is a national occupational classification, so we call it NOC, and it classified the world of work for over 8,000 professionals. Each professional has very clear description, education requirements, trend, and many information is there. So when the HR people, when they prepare their job postings, they have something to look at as reference. But the problem with job seeker, no matter if you're a new graduate, you're looking for a first job or you're looking for career advancement, you've got to know how to address the employer's needs, which is putting on paper resume and present it in person, which is interview. Okay? And when you're looking for a new job, of course, hard skills is key. You have to know how to project manage Microsoft project as a tool of project management, right? You got, for some positions, you have to know how to do it. Then you will be able to perform the responsibilities. But across all levels, you have to build your soft skills. Soft skills is more important. We heard the word communication, and you got to say it right, and say the right information and say it right. So that is my general advice to the job seekers and young people. I think I can take questions if audience would like to.
We were leaving the question at last, and right now let me second round. I have another round. Do I have time? I think I still have time, right? Oh, it's already passed. But I do have a lot of questions to prepare, and then unfortunately we just have a very time limit. But my second question, I will short my speech. Daji, what do you see as the most impact trends in project management in the next 5 to 10 years? As a PM, how do we, I think a lot of people here is a PM or the PM to be, and how we prepare for this change?
Again, I think different perspective may lead to the different answer. But to me, the first question when you're asking that question, I'm thinking 5 to 10 years is very, very long. So if you are a PM, you're already a PM or want to be a PM, I would say you first need to understand your passion. What is managing a project means to you, right? Then you need to really assessing, do an inventory of your skill set. Right? If everyone says communication is absolutely critically important, it's not just in project management. So assess how is your communication skills in writing, presentation, or even in facilitating a session of all forms of communication. If you do see a gap, how do you see the plan for yourself to fill up, right? So you need to do the inventory of your skill set. You need to also be aware of what are the trends that are coming to the industry. However, the industry you're working with. If you are working in the capital market, as T was suggesting, that's even richer in the areas that you need to be aware of. In the future, no project that I can see are not involving one way or another of some sort of enabling technology. It has been the trend, but in the future, even more so. So now, let's just use one quick example to illustrate. If you are asking to managing, setting up a derivative exchange using blockchain as an underlying technology, you as a project manager, what kind of the body of knowledge that you need functionally, right? Other than communications, obviously you need to communicate with a variety of different stakeholders. That could involve investors, could involve your IT team, could involve your sponsors, all these traditional ones, but also you do need to understand derivatives somewhat to the extent that you can communicate. You do need to understand the trading system to the extent you can communicate or assess the effort your team give it to you, right? You do need to be aware of what are the risks. How do you do that? You do need to have sufficient knowledge. That's what I'm trying to say. So inventory your skills, focus on communication, inventory what is the area that you want to get in or you are already practicing, want to continue. So prepare yourself.